I've always loved building big things, and this project is the ultimate opportunity to be involved in something that is really strategic for this state and just gives the opportunity to enhance and improve people's lives. The North-South Corridor is a 78-kilometre non-stop free-flowing motorway between Gawler and Old Noarlunga, and the Torrens to Darlington section is really the last piece of a multi-billion-dollar puzzle. The Torrens to Darlington project primarily focuses between the River Torrens at the north and Darlington at the south. We're currently working on what we call the Hybrid Plus option, be a combination of tunnels, open and at-grade motorways, as well as lowered sections and some overpasses at some of the key strategic crossing points. By building the project in stages, that allows us to open completed sections while we're still working concurrently on the other stages. So to date, as part of the Phase 1 ground investigation, we've undertaken about 200 individual boreholes, allowing us to take about 5,000 tests to date of the ground. So similar to above ground landscaping features, there's hills, there's rivers, there's changing geological conditions. Underground is the same scenario, and this investigation allows us to find those ground conditions to really get a good understanding of what's underground and help us to inform the development of our design.
So what we're looking for on this investigation is we're testing the soil for the engineering properties of the soil. We're also looking at the hydrogeology, so that includes testing and doing sampling on groundwater, as well as some contamination sampling. Right now we're drilling and collecting soil samples, so you can see the rigs in operation. It's drilling down into the ground to collect the soil samples. We'll retrieve those samples, and they'll be logged by our site engineer, who will then collect the samples that are needed to take to laboratory for testing. The length of time it takes to complete the testing varies, and it's really dependent on what we find in the ground and the type of testing we're doing. So typically a borehole, which is what we're drilling, can take between 1 and 5 days depending on the depth and what's encountered underground.
We select the locations of our sites very carefully to minimise disruption to residents, to business owners and to traffic. Unfortunately, it is unavoidable on some occasions, depending on where we have to drill, that there will be some disruption, but we make every attempt to try and minimise that during the process. As part of the engineering survey works, residents might also expect to see a lot of line marking on the ground. This is just the way that our engineering surveyors, they identify existing services underground. So some of these services include utility services such as telecommunications, water, gas and other infrastructure underground. The ground investigations for Phase 1 will be completed in 2021, and then we'll be undertaking further investigation scopes as we move forward. Those scopes are actually informed partially by what we found as part of the Phase 1, but also as part of the development of the design in terms of where we need to test and what we need to be testing for. As the largest infrastructure project in South Australia's history, this will generate a lot of opportunities, and we're looking forward to working with local businesses and industry to help deliver these benefits for South Australia. I love driving around Adelaide, and my kids commonly refer to every project I've worked on as Dad's Roads or Dad's Bridge, and I'm finally grateful that I'll be able to add Dad's Tunnel to Adelaide's landscape.